Thanks for joining me today. This is actually Megan. I'm sure you're used to hearing Sean with our tech videos, but today I wanted to actually take a moment and talk about small business social media marketing, specifically on LinkedIn. A lot of clients that I consult for, they use LinkedIn, but they are absolutely unsure if they're doing anything right. And some of them just get downright frustrated because LinkedIn is its own animal among the social media platforms. So today, I want to talk about 3 things that you can do right now to boost engagement on LinkedIn. And when I say right now, guys, I mean if you have a screen where you can split it into 2, go ahead and pull it up because we're going to talk about things that you can actually do as we go through this in the video. So let's dive right in. So the first thing I want to talk about is why engagement matters. This is something that a lot of my clients struggle with because they feel like, hey, I'm posting, that's enough. That takes enough time to create content and post it. That's enough for me. But the engagement part is just as important as what you post. And there's a couple reasons why. So for us, a lot of our clients are small. And when we say small businesses, we are talking about usually under 25 employees. And they will always tell us that they get most of their business through referral or word of mouth. And I always come back with, well, yeah, social media is word of mouth online. And they kind of go, oh, I guess I really didn't think about it that way. But that's exactly the point, is you do want to get that referral business. You want to always have word of mouth business. However, social media takes that and puts it on steroids, because if your customers are, instead of just telling their neighbors or having a sign in their yard, are going and posting what their experience was online and sharing it with not just one, but 10, 15, 100 people, that's going to give you way more buzz than any yard sign or just, again, mentioning it to a neighbor can do. You want that buzz for your business. You want to get as many people interested in what you do and who you are with as little effort as possible. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it's going to show you that your content is valuable. If no one is engaging on your post, then why post content? Why do it? So you need to have feedback. That's what you're going to get, that engagement. That's what that is. If you have an audience there and they are not engaging on your post, then you obviously need to change the type of content you're producing. And when you get that engagement, it's also sending a message to LinkedIn and saying, hey, this particular account is posting some good content. Let's give them a little bit more juice in the organic search. And that's what you want. You want your content to start showing up naturally in other people's feeds and relevant feeds. The other thing, and the last, and this is very important, and so many businesses overlook this, is that your content is going to help you gauge what your clients are interested in, what your potential customers are interested in. If you are posting, and I'll actually give an example. So I had a client who was posting for a retreat. She was marketing a retreat that she was doing. And we did this for probably about 2 months, and it just was getting nothing. Paid promotion, nothing. So after some time, I think she got 1 sign up and we just scrapped it. Then we decided, hey, why don't you try doing a masterclass instead? The masterclass sold out in half the time that she was promoting the retreat. So clearly, she just had the wrong product. She was producing the wrong type of content that her customers were not really interested in. So you always want to pay attention to what you're posting and how your customers are reacting to it. And the only way you can do that is if there is adequate engagement there. So that's why it matters. Now, what's our first point here? You need to be following the right people. Now, I have done it myself starting out, and I know many business owners who do that, who just sit there, they either are on their phone or on their computer, and they're just clicking connect, follow, follow, follow. And it doesn't matter who they are, they just are doing this willy-nilly. That is not the right way to get real engagement in your account. Remember the old adage that it's all about who you know. If you know the right people, you're going to get the right type of business. And so when you are looking for accounts to follow, think about the influencers that match your interests and the interests of your business and your audience. This is all for your audience, guys. So when you follow someone, look at it with the intention that I want to be able to share this person's content in hopes that they will also bring attention to my content. Look at it with that intention. If your audience is not interested in what that person or that account has to offer, it's of no value to you, and don't waste the follow or connect. Next, if you're a local business, put time into finding out who your local influencers and your local businesses are. And the easiest way to do that is simply go and look, pull up a Google Maps, look at your local businesses, find them on LinkedIn, and start following them. Once you do that, you're also going to start seeing more people in your feed and more interests that are recommended based on those particular accounts. So follow people who are impactful. You know your local politicians, or maybe if you have a local celebrity, follow those people if you are a local business, because those are going to be the ones who are more likely to say, hey, you're local too, I want to promote you. Remember, for a local business in particular, very community oriented, and people really do want to push your content out. So give them a reason to do that. And lastly here, you want to follow company pages in addition to individual accounts. So this is where, again, we talk about LinkedIn being a little bit trickier than some of the other social media platforms. You might see someone who's an entrepreneur or someone you even know personally, and you're following them on their individual account. But if you go through their work history and see where they currently work, they might have a company page as well. Make sure you're following that company page, and here's why. Company pages, especially when we're talking about brands that aren't necessarily as well known as others, they don't get as much love. They don't get nearly as much love on LinkedIn as they do on some of the other social media sites. And when you see content from those accounts, if you engage with it, you are way more likely to catch the attention of that influencer connected to that business. So you want to make sure you're following those company pages and then you're interacting with them so that you catch the attention and somebody will say, hey, this person is actually supporting me. Again, it's about being real. And that kind of feeds right into our next point of making sure you are genuinely engaging. So you follow the right accounts, you follow the right people. Now you got to really put in the work. You actually connect with them. I have so many business owners who say, I hate being on social media. I hate doing this. I hate putting in the time. It's such a waste of time. You know what, though? If you are following the right people, engaging shouldn't be hard, because going back to what we said before, you're following accounts that match the values and the interests of your audience, which also should be your interest because they should pertain to your business. So if you're doing that, these posts that you're seeing from other accounts should be something you're already interested in. And that should make it a lot easier for you to go ahead and engage. Now, you're sharing the posts that you think your followers will find informative. And I laugh here because I see so many businesses that share memes, they share, funny comic strips, or they share, quotes and things like that. Well, okay, but so is every other account. And there are actual accounts dedicated to sharing that kind of content on different platforms. Don't waste your energy, okay? Especially for LinkedIn. LinkedIn users want informative posts. They want things that are, relevant to maybe them personally or their community. So make sure you're finding the right posts, and then always add your own thoughts to shared posts, okay? Don't just share something and leave it at that. Make sure you're actually commenting why you shared this post, why you found it interesting, so that your audience has something to engage with. Okay, they have something to comment back to you. So again, it's about creating an exchange of engagement. So you want to make sure that you're posting your thoughts so they share their thoughts, and it goes round and round. That's how you get good engagement. If you're not sure what to post, if you don't see anything in your feed that you want to post, look in that trending topics that's in the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's going to give you your guide to what people are talking about right now, what's interesting to people right now. Make sure you're looking through that, because there's a whole wider audience in there that you can tap into. And if you are commenting on those articles, if you find something that maybe you're passionate about or you have an opinion on, you're going to actually see people comment back to you. And they, I've actually developed connections just from doing that. So be on the lookout for that. And the other thing here is that you want to look for articles written by the individual accounts you follow. So again, it's one of those things where you kind of have to look on LinkedIn a little bit. But if you go to an individual profile and you see the post, you can see the posts that they share, but you can also see content that they've produced. You do have the ability to write and publish articles on LinkedIn, and that's something that we might actually talk about deeper in another video, because it's something you should take advantage of. But for now, look at the individual profiles, see what articles they've written. If they have written some good content that you might want to comment on, or you have an opinion or can offer your expertise on, comment on it. And make sure that you are trying to say something that they can engage back with. I'm telling you, that's another good way to capture people's attention, is if you're actually interacting with the stuff that they've posted, because that doesn't always get the level of interaction unless they're a very well-known influencer. So that's a good way to catch somebody's attention, and make sure you're looking out for those articles. Now, when we talk about commenting and messaging, I have to put this here because I've seen so many times where people do not actually engage correctly. One, people can see generic messages, so don't be a milestone friend. We see through that. And when I say a milestone friend, what I'm talking about is when LinkedIn sends you those alerts that, hey, so-and-so has a work anniversary, they've been here so long, and they actually give you the ability to auto-respond, to just say, hey, congratulations, and just send it with just a click. Don't do that. That absolutely, again, adds no value. It's not a real communication. If you want to say, hey, congratulations for being at such and such company for 7 years, what do you like about that company? Why did you stay for 7 years? What do you think would be the next move for you going forward? That's a real conversation starter. Those are things that would actually trigger some sort of response back. Make sure you're being real. You're actually giving them something to engage with. So we're going to go ahead and go into the next point here and say, respond to comments and questions posed or the thoughts expressed by the original poster. Again, this is where we talk about being generic. So I have actually had many comments on our account where they're just like, hey, great story. And it's like posted 5 seconds after after I posted something. So I know they couldn't have possibly read it. I know they're just saying something very, very generic to get a comment out there. And I will usually respond back and say, well, great, what specifically did you enjoy? And I never get a response. One, because those are usually Autobots, but also because they didn't read anything. They didn't actually read or take the time to engage, look at the content. So don't be that person. Don't, just generically comment on something just to get a comment out. Don't comment for comment's sake. Make sure you're being real in your engagements, that you're actually thinking about the post and you're trying to, engage on a deeper level. Remember what your mother said. If you can't say something nice, don't say it, don't say anything at all. Well, if you can't say something real, then just don't say anything. That's really the motto you want to follow here. Also, if the original poster responds to your comment, respond back. Because ultimately, again, it's about creating a dialogue. Don't just comment, have them respond, and never go back and say anything. Then that shows them you weren't actually really committed to forming a connection. You just wanted to put something out there. Keep the dialogue going. You want to build real connections. So our last point here is joining the right groups. Now, some of you might not even be aware that you can join groups on LinkedIn. I actually do have some clients who were not aware that they could have a group. And that's because LinkedIn, again, in its usability, it's still kind of trying to figure itself out. But you can, and it's important to be a part of those groups, but it's most important to be a part of the right groups. So think about where your audience is hanging out. Remember, the whole point of this is 1, to establish real connections, and 2, to establish yourself as some sort of expert, some sort of expert in your industry, in your field, in your business. And if you're joining the right groups, that can actually be easy enough to do. Request to join groups that are relevant to your audience. If your audience isn't even remotely interested in what that group topic is about, why are you there? Why spend the time there? And so when you're looking for groups, look for groups where maybe there's a problem or a community around a support community, I would like to say, is that if they are looking for maybe support with an issue and they kind of post to hopefully get feedback from one another, join a group like that. Because if you can actually solve the problem, that right there positions you as an expert. If you can solve the different problems that come up or the different questions, thinking about if you're a software company and you're familiar with a specific software and there's a group around supporting this software, you would be perfect for joining that group because you're going to be able to answer any questions and hopefully be able to refer them back to any content you've produced in support of that. So look for the groups that are relevant to your audience and relevant to what you're trying to accomplish. Also, look for groups that you have any sort of connections in. That's going to be a huge win for you because if you have a real connection there, it can help with your engagement in the group. It can help kind of solidify you in the group if that particular connection is active. And it will help give you a lead into more real connections within that group. So always look for groups you already have a connection in. And then only join groups that you can effectively participate in. This kind of goes back to being relevant to your audience a little bit. But if you are not an expert on a certain subject, don't join a group on that subject. Don't join a group where you can't contribute anything to it. You want to join a group where, again, it makes you look like a problem solver. It makes you look like you are an expert in that field, or a group that you can contribute to the conversation. So always look for the right groups, don't just join groups automatically. Just look for the right places to spend your time. And then my last point here, and this is going to probably annoy some people, but don't self-promote in groups. And also don't join groups that are specifically for self-promotion. Now, this is for LinkedIn, but honestly, this goes for any of the social media platforms, and specifically Facebook even, because there are plenty of groups that they're just designed for you to basically post an ad about your business. That does nothing for you. If all of those other businesses are doing the same thing, they're not actually looking in there for your business. They're just looking to promote their own. Don't join a group like that. It just wastes time. The other thing is that you don't want to come off as the person in a real group, a group that's actually committed to, again, solving problems or really helping the community. And you don't want to be that person that's like, hey, look at my business, look at what I do. You want to actually contribute something valuable. So as long as you are doing any sort of promotion for your business tactfully, that's okay. And what I mean is if you answer a question and you happen to have source material, your own source material, or you have something that you can link back to, then do that if the group allows you to post links. But don't just come in there and wanting to talk only about your business. That's not going to work for you. That's really it, guys. Those are the 3 basic tips to help you start engaging and getting more engagement on your LinkedIn post and on your LinkedIn channel. Now, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe so that you can get all of our tips. Also, make sure you're following us on our other channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any of those. And if you have questions, you can email us, you can visit our website, or you can just simply leave it down below in the comments. I want to know what you liked about this video, what you didn't like about the video, and what you would like to hear more of. Is there something that you would like to know more about when it comes to LinkedIn? Let me know, and I will look forward to giving another video for you guys pretty soon here. Thanks.